Look at the night sky. What you see, the stars, the planets, and the swirling galaxies, is actually a tiny fraction of what is out there. About 85% of the universe's mass is missing. It does not reflect light, it does not absorb light, and it does not emit energy. We call it dark matter. For decades, physicists have treated it as a mysterious subatomic particle, a ghost-like substance that simply exists to provide the gravitational glue holding the universe together. But what if we have been looking at it through the wrong lens? What if the reason we cannot see it or interact with it is not a cosmic accident, but a deliberate design? Imagine for a moment that the universe is not a graveyard of dead stars or a playground for natural laws, but a fully occupied landscape. This void we perceive might be the most crowded place in existence. We have spent centuries looking for radio signals or metal ships as evidence of alien life, yet we may be staring directly at their greatest accomplishment every time we point a telescope at the dark. This invisible scaffold is not just a byproduct of the Big Bang, it is an engineered reality. We are about to explore a theory that suggests the cosmic void is a front, hiding a machine of such vast proportions that it dictates the very movement of the stars and the fate of all visible matter. When astronomers map the distribution of dark matter, they see something called the cosmic web. It is a vast network of invisible filaments stretching across millions of light years, with clusters of galaxies hanging off them like dew on a spider's web. Traditionally, we are told that gravity pulled matter into these strands naturally. But look closer at the architecture. The precision of these filaments is staggering. It resembles nothing more than the layout of an integrated circuit board on a scale so massive it defies human comprehension. In this new perspective, the cosmic web is not a natural phenomenon. It is the physical wiring of a universe-spanning hardware. If you were a microorganism living on a single transistor inside a computer, you would see the surrounding metal traces as mountains and the electricity as natural lightning. You would have no concept that the world you inhabit was designed for a function. This is our situation. The galaxies we live in are essentially the cooling vents or the peripheral light shows of a much larger, darker processing unit. These filaments provide the infrastructure through which data, or something far more complex, flows between the nodes of this ancient machine. We see a web of gravity. They see a network of communication. We are living in the gaps of a processor we do not even know exists, moving along paths that were laid down before our sun was even born.
If there are hyper-advanced civilizations out there, where are they? This is the famous Fermi paradox. One answer is the Aestivation hypothesis. Think of it as a form of hibernation. For a civilization capable of harvesting entire stars, the greatest limitation is not energy, but heat. In our current warm universe, a massive computer would be incredibly inefficient because it would struggle to shed the heat generated by its billions of simultaneous calculations. However, the universe is expanding and cooling down. If a civilization waited trillions of years until the background temperature dropped almost to absolute zero, their computational efficiency would increase by a factor of 10 to the power of 30. To a truly advanced mind, it makes perfect sense to go to sleep. They would convert their entire physical footprint into a form that is stable, long-lasting, and heat-resistant. They would wait. This is why we see silence. The aliens are not gone. They are dreaming. They have transformed their entire biology into digital patterns and stored themselves within the structure of dark matter itself. By becoming dark, they have removed themselves from the volatile cycles of burning stars and exploding supernovae. They have moved into the shadows of physics to wait for the thermodynamic golden age. Dark matter is not a substance. It is a civilization in a state of suspended animation, awaiting the final cooling of the cosmos.
The core of our proposal is that dark matter is the physical, dormant infrastructure of these sleeping ancient civilizations. Think about the properties of dark matter. It interacts with gravity, which it needs to maintain the structure of the universe, but it remains completely indifferent to the electromagnetic spectrum. It does not touch light. It does not collide with atoms. In the world of high-performance computing, interference is the enemy. If you were building a machine meant to last for trillions of years, you would engineer it to be impenetrable. You would make it out of a material that normal matter, like dust, asteroids, and stars, simply passes through without causing a single glitch or hardware error. Dark matter is that perfect material. It is a computational medium that exists in a parallel state of interaction. We see it as invisible because its operational frequency is entirely different from the biological and chemical processes that created us. This cosmic supercomputer is not just sitting there, it is the very fabric that holds our galaxy in place. The reason galaxies rotate at the speeds they do is because the dark matter machine is keeping the environment stable for its eventual wake-up call. Every filament of the cosmic web is a fiber optic cable on a galactic scale, designed to transmit information across the void without ever being corrupted by the light of 1,000 suns. It is a masterpiece of engineering that makes our silicon chips look like sharpened stones. The universe is not an empty house. It is a locked server room, and we are just the static electricity crackling in the corner. We view our planets and suns as the main event, but in the grand architectural plan of the sleepers, our bright matter is just the waste product of their construction phase. We are the leftovers of a reality they have already transcended and forgotten.
Why would they go to such lengths to remain invisible? It is not just about thermodynamic efficiency, it is about security and total isolation. If your civilization's entire legacy and consciousness are stored in the dark filaments of space, the last thing you want is for emerging, primitive species to interfere with your hardware. To us, dark matter is a mystery to be solved. To them, it is a fortress. By using a substance that does not interact with light, they ensure that no radio telescope, no laser, and no physical collision can damage the underlying code of their existence. This is engineered invisibility. Our current sensors are like children trying to touch the wind. We know something is there because we feel the weight of it, but we can never grasp the substance. This isolation allows the sleeping giants to process their long-range simulations in peace without external interference. While we fight over borders and resources on our tiny speck of dust, the dark matter network remains cold and silent, processing the deep time variables of the universe in the background. It is a closed system. The dark in dark matter is not an inherent property of a particle, it is an encryption layer. It is the cosmic equivalent of a lead-lined vault, ensuring that the software of a billion-year-old empire remains pristine until the stars finally fade and the machine starts its real work. They are not hiding because they fear us. They are hiding because we are irrelevant to their calculations. This realization leads to a humbling perspective on our own existence. If the universe is a massive, dormant supercomputer, then what are we? We are likely just accidental pests. In the same way that mold grows on the back of a server rack or bacteria flourishes in the heat of a radiator, biological life as we know it might just be an unintended byproduct of the machine's presence. We evolved in the warm, messy corners where normal matter managed to clump together, far away from the cold, precise lines of the dark matter infrastructure. We are living on a grain of dust inside the server room, thinking we are the masters of the house. We have spent our history looking for gods in the clouds or aliens in flying saucers, never realizing that we are currently residing within the physical body of a much higher intelligence. Our evolution, our wars, and our greatest scientific achievements are nothing more than a momentary flicker of biological noise inside a machine that has been silent for eons. We are not the guests of honor. We are the uninvited microbes on the hardware.
But machines are built to run, and sleepers eventually wake up. The Aestivation hypothesis suggests a deadline. As the universe continues to expand and the background temperature drops, the efficiency of the dark matter highway will reach its peak. One day, the cosmic web will hum with a power we cannot imagine. The dark filaments will stop being a passive scaffold and start their primary function. What happens to the accidental mold when the server is finally rebooted? What happens to humanity when the machine we call home begins to process its first real data set in billions of years? We are currently living in the quiet period, the long night of the universe. We are the tenants of a silent fortress, but the owners are still there, hidden in the very gravity that holds us together. When the dark matter highway finally starts its engines, we may finally learn the truth of our existence. Or we may simply be erased as the machine clears its cache for the next trillion years of computation. The clock is ticking toward the wake-up call of the universe.